Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew Selby. I've met most of you already, but for those that have not met me, I am the new acting HR director here at L Corporation. I wanted to thank everyone initially here. Everyone has been incredibly welcoming so far, so I can't thank you enough for that. I'd also like to thank Mike and the rest of the executive staff for agreeing to sit down with me here today. I do have a quick presentation I wanted to go over with everyone. It's going to be focused on HR analytics and how I'm going to propose that we incorporate it into our structure here at the company as we continue to grow. So think of this as more of an open forum. If there are any questions, comments, concerns, please just stop me and we'll dive right in here. All right, so a good place to start is to ask why. So why is the use of HR analytics going to be crucial to our company's success moving forward? Obviously, the use of data to improve our decision making. It's going to improve our ability to be proactive as we continue to grow. And it's going to enable our leaders to make informed decisions from the top down. Decisions that will both benefit the organization and our individual employees. I have three proposed areas of focus that I would like to use as examples for incorporating HR analytics. The first one we'll look at is going to be the costs associated with absenteeism. And we're also going to look at the benefit of HR analytics in regards to the cost associated with employee separations and employee health, wellness, and welfare. So the first two, they are going to be subjects in which I feel that we could implement this immediately. Employee health, wellness, and welfare. It is going to be very important to this company. It will take time to see return on this section until we have a larger workforce, but it's still important to cover regardless so we can kind of, get prepared for the future. So we'll go ahead and look at the absenteeism overview here. I have cited some literature, some useful information. But the short of it is there's going to be several factors that we should be considering when we're assessing the costs of absenteeism. You'll see here the costs of payments for non-work time of absentees and the cost of payments for time of those who manage absence, cost of time of replacement workers, and the cost of reduced quality or quantity. All right, so here is where we're going to get into the numbers. And this is what we know. At the end of last year, we had 50 employees. We still currently have that same 50 employees, each scheduled for the standard 40 hours per week. Last year, our total absentee rate was at 2.6%. Now, this one is the one where you don't necessarily think 2.6 is a big number, but across 50 employees, our total employee hours lost to absenteeism was 2,704. Now, I will provide an equation that we can use and that I have used to get a lot of the numbers that I'm going to be presenting to you today. I know Mike is a very data-driven individual, so it was important to me to make sure that there were some mathematical equations in here. Now, to the right, the estimated cost of absenteeism. I will not go over this line for line, but we are going to look at line items 11 and 12 because they are quite shocking for a company size of 50 people. So we'll start with 12, the total estimated cost of absenteeism per employee last year, over $3,000. Okay, now the more staggering figure is line item 11, and that is where I got our total estimated cost of absenteeism across the board. In a company of 50 people in a calendar year, $182,000 odd lost to absenteeism. Now, why is this important? As we continue to grow, one thing that's going to be apparent is that that number will continue to grow, but as we use the analytics, we can learn how to mitigate the risks or minimize the absenteeism through various programs that we can cover in a separate presentation. But the purpose of this presentation is just to kind of show you the use of HR analytics, and evaluating our costs due to absenteeism was a really good place to start because it's what we have the most access to. But moving on, assessing the costs associated with employee separations. Now, we are in a very fortunate position right now. The 50 employees that we do have, they have, for the most part, been here since the beginning. And from what I can gather, no one's really planning on leaving. From what I can see, everyone seems to really love it here. That will not be the case as this company potentially doubles or triples in size over the next 2 years. So it's going to be very important that we can assess the cost of employee separations moving forward. Implementing analytical measurement strategies is going to help us understand and mitigate the challenges to come. And then again, another equation there as to how we would get some facts and figures. But from what I was kind of touching on there earlier, this company to date hasn't had to deal with a lot of these, separation costs. It will not be the case again whenever the company doubles or triples in size. Things like exit interview costs, administrative functions related to termination, separation pay, unemployment tax, etc. You can see again an equation, expressed for total separation costs, things moving forward that are going to be very important. I will give you a quick moment here to orient yourself to this slide. But moving forward, the last topic is going to be employee health, wellness, and welfare. So I am a big advocate of getting ahead of the curve. And to be quite honest with you, some of the numbers, facts, and figures that would be used here, they're not going to show a lot of return on investment. We do not have the size and structure yet for us to see a large return on employee health, wellness, and welfare programs. But again, not to sound like a broken record, as we look at doubling or tripling in size, implementing various employee health programs is going to show us a return on investment for the reasons I have listed here below. Healthy, active employees incur lower health costs. Simply put, there are numbers I can put with it. I didn't want to fabricate numbers in this instance with 50 employees. I just want to get it in the back of everyone's minds that this is going to be something that is going to be of massive benefit to us to be ahead of, when we do start to see that larger workforce. And then I do have a nice CDC graphic here on the right-hand side. We do not have the time to go into it, item by item, but I will give everyone a quick moment to orient themselves to it. Excuse me. All right. So while you look over that, it's time to maybe look at how I intend to implement all of this, or where I intend to store it and disseminate it to the executive staff. I am a large advocate of Tableau. As you can see here, just something that was pieced together. I did partner with my friend Henry at H Corp. As you can see here, this is just an example sheet using Tableau. We can see just a ton of information in a very digestible, easy to access, and easy to manipulate, form. And this is just an example again, but this is what I intend to use moving forward with our HR analytics. I intend to store them here, disseminate them to the executive staff through this program. If anyone has any further questions on this particular, program or software, find me after. We can sit down and talk about it. But just in the preservation of time, we're just going to look at some final takeaways. We are a young, energetic company. Exponential growth is coming, as I've said. The time is now because of that. And growth and success can come hand in hand as long as we plan accordingly. Thank you all.